What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Build with the CEO. I don't have my mic today. I'm in a slightly different office, and so hopefully my audio is coming through for you guys and you can hear me okay. I do have this like fancy whiteboard thing behind me if we do want to whiteboard some stuff today. But my name is Trevor. This is Build with the CEO. This is our Tuesday call. We do it every Tuesday, and today we are talking about marketing for our challenge that is coming up in January. So January is one of the best times that we can launch a program, right? We can launch a front-end offer, we can launch a challenge, kind of all the same thing, right? Well, program and front-end offer may be a little bit different, but challenge, front-end offer, low barrier offer, whatever you want to call it, right? January is the perfect time, right? The psychographic, what people are thinking about aligns with what we offer, right? More people are interested in making change in January. So this is the time that we want to start doing stuff. So last time I talked about some of like what I would call like the best practices, right? Around kind of running and executing a challenge. And if we have time today, I might get into that a little bit more. But today I want to focus more on the marketing aspect of a challenge and what can we be doing to start with the marketing pieces. So let's kind of first start with like our marketing statement. What is the thing that our challenge, our front-end offer, our program is going to accomplish? Like really, really clear on what like our program is going to do. So an easy framework that you can use when you are developing this or when you're developing kind of the statement for your challenge is I help or I've created this challenge. We're going to try this whiteboard thing, see if it works. Okay, can you guys see that? Well, kind of. We'll have to figure out the lighting. But I created a program to help XYZ person, right? That's where we're going to put in the XYZ person. So put in your avatar, right? Who is the person that you're helping, right? So this is you. This is what you got to put in there. Achieve, right? We want an action verb, accomplish whatever you want. And then we're going to put the result. Right? What can they expect to get out of this, right? Weight loss is easy, right? How much weight can they expect to lose? 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, whatever. Many times when we run our front-end offers, we say 10 pounds. Like that's our guarantee. Or someone is going to be able to lose 10 pounds in that time frame. So we've created a program to help XYZ person achieve XY result in time, right? In an amount of time. So we want to say like, is it in 4 weeks? Is it 6 weeks? Is it 8 weeks? Right? So we want to define time here, right? And then if you want to get super fancy, right? Using the ABC. So using the ABC method. Can't quite see that with the light. Using the ABC method right through there. Hang on a sec. I'm going to. No, I don't think that helped at all. All right. Using the ABC method, right? And so think about this. Think about P90X, right? Doesn't mean anything, right? If you're a fitness professional, you know that it's just kind of a bunch of bogus. Like it's just a bunch of letters and numbers and stuff put together, right? P90X. But it's a method, right? High intensity interval training. That's what it is. Nothing magical, but it's a method. And so if we can put a label on your method, that's going to help someone understand what you do, how you can help them, and your special sauce, right? This method is your special sauce. Right? So I created a program to help XYZ person achieve a result in a time frame using the XYZ method, ABC method. right? So that's when I'm talking about like a marketing statement, right? That's our marketing statement. It's really clear, right? I can say this to someone and they're going to know, can I help them? How can I help them? How long does it take to help them? Oh, and you have a special way to do it. That's why this time is going to be different, right? Really, really clear. And this can be used. I mean, we're talking about this in respect to something coming up in January, but this could be any program that you have inside of your business, right? Really, really clear marketing statement, how you can help people and how much time you're going to be able to help them. So if you do have questions with any of this stuff, I do have Facebook. The comments are up. Sup BJ, sup Teresa. I do have comments up on Riverside as well. And so feel free to utilize that chat if you're on Riverside with us and get that one up. And then on YouTube, I've got that on a different screen. If you're jumping on YouTube, feel free to throw it in that chat as well. So I don't see anything right in there right now. But if you do have questions with that, just drop it in the chat. We can talk a little bit more about it. But this is really important, right? Because everything hinges from this, and it makes it really, really clear. So when we're thinking about marketing, we want to define this. What can someone achieve with our program, with our challenge? What can they achieve? It's really important. Okay. So once we have that marketing statement, now it's what I just call guerrilla marketing, right? How do we go out and let more people know about what we're doing? So we want to start going through where do we have influence? Okay, where do we have influence in anywhere, right? So do I have a gym of clients, right? There's influence, right? We can sell to those people, we can sell to their friends, all those kind of things. Do I have a cell phone? I bet you do, right? And I bet in that cell phone, oh, I can't see it. I got a picture of my now 8-year-old, but was 3 years old, in a convertible with his hair all crazy. But where else do you have influence? Your phone. You've got contacts in your phone, right? Are there people in your phone that could benefit from what you're doing? Probably. Do they know what you're doing? Probably not. Could you inform them about what you're doing and what you're up to? And if they're interested at all, to just hit you up? Probably, right? So like you have access to that. Okay, that's a great one. Do you have any sort of social media following or friends on Facebook, right? We can make a post on Facebook, very similar to our statement that we made before, right? We've created something to help XYZ person achieve XYZ result in XYZ timeframe using my new method that I just created. If you're interested at all, just shoot me a comment or hit me up in the DMs. I'd love to help you, achieve XYZ. And like XYZ is whatever, right? It could be, someone in the Facebook group talked about they're doing a gratitude challenge. Awesome. Like that's great. And so I would encourage someone to not necessarily just talk about gratitude, but what you get from more gratitude, more peace, more happiness, that kind of stuff, right? Those are the results that we're getting from it. And so we would talk about that. And so where do we have influence? Do we have influence? Facebook? Do we have influence on Instagram? Do we have an email list, right? Are we regularly communicating with our email list? Because our cadence right now in email is like we shouldn't be necessarily trying to like sell anyone anything right now, right? We should still have our PS with our, when you're ready, here are 3 ways that we can help to help kind of move people along. But like right now should be all about value, but it should be value that is leading towards a launch, right? So we should be talking about things like process versus outcome goals. If we're running a challenge where the focus is on the process, right? Talking less about the scale and talking more about the process that goes into weight loss, right? We should be talking about like what life would be like if someone was to achieve something. So we should be dropping in some testimonials. We should dropping in some success stories to kind of show that social proof that you can help someone be successful, right? So people are seeing other people's success. We want to be dropping those in. We maybe want to be dropping in some information around why people aren't successful, right? In weight loss, it's like they know what they need to do. They know what they need to eat, but they just aren't good at doing it. And we call that accountability. And so the reason people aren't successful is because of accountability. And then you could give them some different ways that they could create some accountability in their life. Maybe it's getting a workout partner. Maybe it's hiring a coach, right? Maybe it's joining a gym. And so like we can start seeding some of this stuff so that when January comes around, we can launch it. We can get crazy with this. Like, I mean, you can put flyers in people's like windshield wipers. You can do door hangers. Like, I mean, it's just about just getting creative. Even if your business is virtual and online, think about offline areas where you can create some awareness. Is there a partnership that you could create, or a joint venture, or someone you could align yourself with that maybe has a really big following, right? That you could align yourself with and then kind of piggyback off of their following. And obviously they would get something, maybe it's commission, or maybe it's a free coaching or something like that. But there's a lot of creative ways that you can start building some awareness. But if we don't have that marketing statement that I put up here before, right? If you're just joining us, go back to the beginning and look at the marketing statement. If we don't have that done, like none of this other stuff matters, because like, cool, I help people lose weight. Like, just it doesn't do it. That's not enough, right? That's not enough. We need more. And that's where that statement comes into play. Once we have that, though, now we can start to distribute that, right, out to more people. So what we should be thinking about: one, we craft that marketing statement. Two, we start to look at all the areas where we might have influence. Where are there audiences that I can borrow? Where do I have influence? Social media, offline, online, all of that kind of stuff. Because if you are in the offline world and you do have a gym, like, you have a huge audience. Running a challenge with your current members is a great way to help accelerate their results. Also create another revenue stream within your business, or create some cash within your business, and like get people excited about something again. And so this can be a great time of year to be able to launch something if you already have an audience. So I just think about like guerrilla marketing and getting it out there. Now, there were a couple questions that came in the Facebook group. I made a post, I think it was yesterday, about this, if people had some questions with it. And so I want to just answer one of those. The first one is, when do you launch this program in January? So some people might think, hey, I should launch, right away in January. So if we look at the calendar, right, I'm going to pop open a calendar here on a different screen. So if we look at the calendar, January 1st is a Wednesday. Okay, January 1st is a Wednesday. That's a really awkward time to launch anything. So I would highly advise against launching on January 1st. If you want to, you could launch January 3rd, that Friday. But remember, we have to kind of backdate 2 weeks for marketing. And so that means you're starting your marketing, right, the week of Christmas. And I don't necessarily know if that's the best time to be marketing. So for what I would recommend is to push back another week into January. So we are looking at like January 10th as a start. Now that gives you that week after Christmas to market. You can market through the new year, right? Which would be that week before, through that new year. And then like the next full week is when you're kind of finalizing marketing and getting people into the actual program. I think that's a nice flow, right? It's close enough to like new year resolution type of mentality, but not necessarily caught up in the rush of all of that stuff. And you could even push it back another week, right? But I'm not a huge fan of starting right away after the new year. I like to be kind of mid-January. We found that that's just a better time for us. And so, so look at those dates, see what makes sense. And then I also like 2 offers, or two closes, right? Because if you've been in this game for any period of time, you know that whenever we make an offer, the most people are going to sign up, one, right when you launch it, right? And then 2, where the majority of people sign up, is right before their cart closes, within the last 24 hours. Right? That's when most people sign up. So we like to try and incentivize people with a kind of 2 offer type close, where if a kind of an early bird, if they sign up at the early bird offer, by the early bird offer, they get some added benefit, right? Maybe it's a call with you. Maybe it's 7 extra days of workouts or 7 extra days of a program, or some sort of value add, right? So that first offer, we want to look at that value add. Okay, so get people to commit right away, right? Because we want them to commit earlier, right? That's more time with us, and then it's a little easier to manage, right? And then the second one's really easy because that's just our deadline, right? We would call it like a cart closing, right? So that one's super easy. So now we can get one push right here with the value add, and then we can get another push with the deadline, right? And this is usually like a 2-week period. End of week 1, we have a value add. End of week 2, we have our deadline. And if we've been doing a pretty good job with our list, people should be ready to go with this stuff. So make sure if you guys have questions, make sure we're dropping them in the chat so that I can kind of get those answered live. That's always the best time to do it. But if you're watching the replay, you can always drop it into the comments and then send me or just tag me so that I can come in and help you guys out. So we're looking at these two deadlines. Don't have to do this, but this is if you do have a little bit bigger of a list, right, or if you drive a few more people into a challenge, these can be 2 ways to just get a few more people into it and help your flow, so you're not having a bunch of people coming in at one time. And then if you are running a bunch of people, if you're getting a challenge or you're getting a program with 10, 15, 20 people, I would highly suggest looking at the payments section inside of Coach Catalyst, because you can start to automate a lot of the process, right? You can build a little landing page, we can build the fulfillment, we can build all of that out. So it makes it really easy to sign people up. We actually use payments at my gym when we run challenges because it's just an easier process for us, even though we use like MindBody or Gym Master for a bunch of our other payment processing. We just do payments inside of here because it just flows all the way through, right? And then you have Stripe connected to your business bank account, so it all kind of flows into the same pot. But it's just an easier for us to manage versus having people like fill out a form and all of these other things. So we found that to be a little bit of an easier process. We build out a landing page, we build out all the fulfillment, and then boom, they go. And so you may have 2 different programs. You may have one for if you're doing an early bird, and then you may have another one for the deadline, right? Because you want the early bird people to start getting stuff right away. Remember that value add that we have for those people. So I would highly suggest looking at that and getting that set up. It just makes life a whole lot easier. If you feel like you're going to sign up just a handful of people, then just running like a normal. I mean, you're going to be having lots more conversations, right? So yeah, drop any questions that you have in the chat. I'm just going to pop over here and just check quick to make sure that I'm not missing anything. All right, doesn't look like there's anything in Facebook. YouTube, we're good. Sweet. Cool. All right, I'm going to just run over to this post quick to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, we looked at dates. We're good there. Okay. Yeah, I think we got most of the questions answered. Sweet. So today was all about marketing. I think next week we'll come in and we'll even talk some logistics again. But from a marketing standpoint, remember, do we have a marketing statement for this particular thing? What can someone, we've built this to help XYZ person achieve XYZ result in time frame using our insert method, right? Really simple statement that it's really clear on what we're doing. Once we have that done, what are the channels where we have influence, right? Let's go in there and let's start exploiting those channels. Do we have a Facebook group? Do we have Facebook friends? Do we have a cell phone with people in it? Do we have access to audiences anywhere, borrowed audiences? Let's just start compiling that stuff so we can start getting some awareness around it. And we should be starting that fairly soon, right? The week of Christmas is going to be a pretty dead week, right? And so we want to figure out where we can start getting into that stuff early, right? And Get creative. Get creative around an awareness. Do you have a brick and mortar and you live next to a busy road? Can we get an A-frame out on that road that just talks about what you're doing, right? Can we get signage on the side of buildings? There's a lot of ways that we can do this. If you work from a coffee shop, can you put a little thing on the back of your computer, right? Just getting people, you want people to come up and start having those conversations. And so just think about all these different ways that you can create some awareness, and don't be afraid to get out there. And then if you do have a current membership base, especially if it's more in like the fitness world, or even if it's not, like you can make a challenge around something like one person in the group was doing around gratitude. Awesome. You could do something that's going to supplement maybe what your current people are doing, right? Where they can come in, they can join something, you can create a little community aspect with it, and then you can rock and roll. Because the one cool thing about running a program where everyone starts at the same time and they move through it, that's one of the perfect times to start building community, because everyone is moving at the same pace. So it's really easy to organize things for the community. Maybe it's a call, a weekly call, or if it's in person, maybe it's a meetup. Maybe there's little community challenges that happen throughout where people can get really excited and share with each other. Because I mean, the secret with any kind of coaching business, right? And this is a business, not just a program. Coaching business is when you can start to develop community. That's like the secret sauce, right? Gyms that are able to develop community do really, really, really well, and they withstand the test of time. Because once clients are connected to each other as much as they're connected to the leader or coaches, that's how the game is won. So these can be a great community builder. Another great thing that you can do is if you do have current clients, you can incentivize them to bring their friends, right? A kind of a referral strategy. And so if they bring one of their friends along, or one of their friends signs up for the challenge or for the program, right? Maybe they get it for free, or they get half off or something like that. But that can be a great way to get 1 degree away from your current clients. And a way to frame it to clients too is around accountability, right? Social accountability is one of the strongest drivers, one of the strongest motives, right, in our lives. And so if someone can both be accountable to a coach and to another person, their likelihood of success goes way up, right? And so this is a way that you can create that triangle, right? Triangle success. And you could talk about this in an email, right? This is a great thing. If someone is connected to 2 different people around accountability, their likelihood of success is going to go way up. And you can just do some Google searches and you'll be able to pull up a ton of research on this. But there's more social accountability, right? And if my friend is doing it, if my buddy's doing it at the same time, we're going to hold each other accountable, and we're going to make sure that like each other succeeds. And you can kind of rig the challenge, or I should say rig isn't the right word because that sounds like it's a bad thing, but you can craft the challenge in a way where both people need to execute in order for both to win, right? Last week I talked about this idea of having benchmarks and like points and that kind of stuff that people are getting. And so it could be like a team thing, right? A team thing. We've ran challenges with just a couple people, like 2 people. We've ran challenges with groups of people, and then we base it on the success of the group, not necessarily the success of one person. So that can be other ways to bring your clients' friends into the mix to experience what you do, and give you 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks to be able to help them be successful. And then hopefully they have such a great experience that they continue on afterwards. And next week, I don't know, did I talk about this last week? I maybe talked about this last week too, is the offer strategy. So I will, next week, we'll talk about some offers. I'm just going to make a note of that. Where we can talk about, because I mean, the goal of a lot of this stuff is to get clients long term. This can be the starting point to working with people. So we need to figure out what our offer strategy is going to be like for people that are doing this, right? Because it's kind of a waste, not necessarily a waste of time, but if we get a bunch of people to join our maybe short-term front-end offer, low-barrier offer, or challenge, but then we don't convert them, right? then it's great. Nice cash influx, but doesn't actually improve our business. And so next week, we can talk a little bit more about offers, and I'll just make sure I answer any other questions that come in between now and then. But hopefully it starts getting you thinking about the marketing aspect and things that you can do to grow this program that you're going to launch in January, because you're going to launch one, right? So hopefully my audio was okay today, with me not having a mic and having to run off with the computer. But you guys have a great Tuesday. I'll be back here next Tuesday, just like every other Tuesday. And if you have questions in the meantime, tag me in the group, post in the group, tag me, and I'm more than happy to answer them. And they create great content for this show. So this is all about helping you guys become better coaches, serve more clients, build better businesses. If I can help in the meantime, you know where to find me. Over and out. See you guys later.